I've had a question about evolution and how evolution fits in with Christianity. Let's just listen to this question, and I'm just going to have a text reader read it for us.
Has Bertie done a teaching on the theory of evolution? I am becoming more and more persuaded of the gospel that Bertie teaches. But one of my biggest stumbling block is that I was raised in a non-Christian home and came to Christianity as an adult and to the grace teaching only last year. I studied science and modern psychology in school and continued to read and believe it throughout my adult life. These ideas seem to be promoted and implied as truth on the news on public radio. I stumble when I try to think of where Adam and Eve could have fit into the archaeological record of hominid beings thought as our ancestor. A recent story on Science Friday said that Homo sapiens and Neanderthals crossbred in part of Europe. I keep wondering why would there be so many types of extinct beings that were so close to humans. I even heard of recent discovery of bones from yet another named Homo naledi in a cave in South Africa. I wonder where Adam and Eve fit in, if they fit in. Or if Adam and Eve are just a parable and were not real people but a representation and a story to communicate truth but not necessarily distinct actual individuals. Another pastor I asked didn't really answer my question except to say there was no evolution and Adam and Eve were real. I guess I was hoping for more to persuade my minutes since I have decades of believing the science that was taught to me. In the past I have noticed so many times that science seems to prove the Bible correct. So I wonder if Bertie teaches about evolution. Maybe there is a recording I can listen to that he has already done. As you can tell, this is a stumbling block to just believing the gospel that Bertie preaches. I usually have to divide my thinking and keep the ideas as separate as I possible to believe the gospel. But in the middle of the night and more often during the day these kinds of questions comes to mind. Thank you for any assistance you have to offer.
Well, when I look at evolution and we look at all the so-called facts about evolution, I found that what brings peace to my mind is not how man was created in the sense of, was it an evolution process or was it just, God from the dust of the earth formed man? Now, when God from the dust of the earth formed man and blew the breath of life into him, what does that really mean? Now, one day I answered a person that's also studied evolution a lot, and this is my answer to these things. It's very simple, and I know some pastors might be very upset with me. But to me, I don't care if man came forth through evolution or not. That is not what I believe in my heart. In my heart, I believe God created man. He is the creator of man. But should it have been taken place that some evolution took place and that man came forth that way, I would still say that's how God created man. And that man then eventually came to a point of being in the image and likeness of God by God creating him that way. And then that man came to a place where he would be lost and lose his life, and God came to save man. I think we give too much place to this evolution teaching and trying to make the Bible not true and the whole concept of salvation not true through this whole thing about evolution. I just feel that, well, how I got here is not of greatest importance to me. It is that I am here and that I am the only being in the very image and likeness of God, and that God came and manifested what he can do with this being in the death and the resurrection of Jesus and give this being eternal life. So, well, I know that can be shocking to a lot of people, but that is what I think about that.